Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest is Mr. Dave Bowers. He is a promoter of the Indy Pro happening very, very soon. That's going to kick off MD's contest coverage season. Very, very happy to have him as a guest today, all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana. Take it away, Dave. How are you?
Hey, guys. Hey, welcome. I appreciate you having me on here, Ron. Yeah, just excited here. We're just 10 days out, I think, right? So just a little over a week. Yeah. Just super excited to be here. I appreciate you getting me on.
Yeah, so, we had a little meeting maybe a month or two ago, just to sort of go over things with everybody on the coverage. And I didn't know your background, but I know you're a competitive bodybuilder. I know you're a United States Marine. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into weight training and bodybuilding?
Yeah, pretty wild. So I went in the Marine Corps infantry. At 17 years old, my mom signed me in.
Wow.
And I was probably about 170 pounds, 6 foot, just an itty bitty guy. Played baseball and football, worked out a little bit here and there in school. Nothing intense, but once I got into the infantry and the Corps, I had a commanding officer who was a pretty good bodybuilder. So he kind of took me under his wing, started playing around with some weights. So I get back to Cincinnati once I EAS'd, and I had a buddy invite me to the Mr. Ohio show up in the Aladdin Shrine in Columbus, Ohio. And I took a look at it. I'm like, man, you know what? This might be my next step. And then in 2005, Mr. Cincinnati, I won a ton of titles there. And then the convention center over at the Northern Kentucky show, Beverly International, got my butt whooped 16 out of 32 in the open bodybuilding. And that's what I needed, right? So I had a real successful Mr. Cincinnati show. A week later, Northern Kentucky, Beverly International got smoked. And I got bit by the bug. And once I got bit by the bug, I've been competing ever since. Haven't really done much since 2016. Won Mr. Indiana there. Did some Junior USA stuff. But outside of that, been pure business for the most part, promoting and judging for the NPC in the IFBB.
So you're originally from Cincinnati area?
Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised. Yes, sir.
Wow, I'm curious. Did you ever know anybody that was affiliated with John Perillo? Because I've known John forever.
Yeah, I know John. Yeah, but at 17, I kind of moved out, and then I've been kind of on the road since 17 years old. So 17 and under, really not much of a bodybuilder. So I know of the guys, but I don't know many folks over there.
So your weight training initially started in the Marine Corps, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep, my commanding officer. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So how many years were you in the Corps for?
4 years. 4 years in the Corps, and then I decided it was time to kind of move on to bigger and better things, and it got into the logistics world. And now I own my own freight warehousing, trucking, logistics company too. So on the business side of things.
Yeah. So every bodybuilder dreams of owning a gym, because in our minds, I don't think we think it's going to be that difficult, even though the reality is very, very different. It's a very time-consuming, demanding job. But not as many get into contest promotion, because I think everyone realizes, even from a distance, that doesn't look very easy. That looks like a lot of moving parts, a lot of people, a lot of things have to be arranged and coordinated. So what was the first thing that made you even want to promote a contest?
Well, I've always been in leadership my whole life, especially in the logistics world. I've been in freight and LTL. I've been VP of sales and operations. So, managing 400 or 500 guys at a time in 6 or 7 facilities in the freight world. So I started judging in 2014 for the NPC here in Indiana. So as I became a judge and I started judging all the shows, next thing you know, you see some improvements that can be made, and I know what I can do, et cetera. So Ed Sanders gave me a good opportunity of promoting my first show, and it turned into 3 amateur shows and now 1 professional show. So I've got 4 shows that I manage annually, and couldn't be more excited to be here to help everybody out.
Wow. And before we started recording, I think you told me that Derek Lunsford, who's knocking on the door of the 212 Olympia Championship, he started off at one of your shows. Is that right?
Yeah, he won his first overall at the Midwest Battle of Champions. It was our first one, and young guy, a ton of talent, as we all can see right now. And then we brought him back the next year to guest pose, and he's Indiana bred, man. He's one of the Hoosiers over here. So yeah, we're very proud of him.
Right. So what year? 2017, was that the first year you put on a show, or 2016?
2015 was our first year. 2015-16, yes, sir. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So obviously, amateur shows are a lot of work. A pro show on top of that is another level. What made you want to put on a pro bodybuilding show?
Wow, that's probably a pretty difficult question. It's always been a dream of mine to host the Open in the 212s. Got a good opportunity talking with Jim Mannion, and he wanted something in the Midwest, and somehow, some way, I got the opportunity. I got the nod, and so that was in 2018 and 2019. COVID last year canceled us, so this will be our 3rd Indy Pro event. But we started out with the 212s, the open bodybuilding and bikini. Unfortunately, we've had to kind of take a step back on the bikini division, but the goal would be one day to make it a pure all open division, Indy Pro. So just gotta muscle through a lot of these hard times.
Yeah. So you've only had 2 pro shows, but boy, you've had some good lineups. I'm just going to talk about the open years in 2018-19. Both years, Steve Kuklo won.
Yes,
and if any of you pros are on the fence about committing to this show next weekend, Steve isn't doing it. It's okay. He can enter. He's not. It's
unfortunate he's not doing it. I've wined and dined him many times. I travel to Dallas, Texas quite a bit for my corporate job. And, him and I get out and we eat a lot of steak and a lot of sushi and a lot of food. And man, I'd love to have that champion back. I'd love to have him back as a 3rd time. I've tried like heck over the past year and a half, but no, he is definitely not doing it. But we'd love to have him, but it's wide open this year for the open guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure of course you'd love to have him. He's Steve Kuklo. He's a king snake, but at the same time, he does scare away a good amount of people, I'm sure, if they know ahead of time he's in the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's see. First year, your top 5 was pretty impressive. Kuklo, Charles Griffin, the late Luke Sandow, and I think that was his. That wasn't his first pro show, but he was still in the early stages of his pro career there. Ian Valliere from Canada in fifth place. Justin Rodriguez. Ian just won New York Pro last year. Justin looking like a favorite. Him and Hassan Mustafa and a couple other guys for this year. 2019, Kuklo again. 2nd place, Big Akeem Williams, who just placed top 6 at the Olympia. Not too shabby. 3rd place. This is a guy I've really got my eye on, and I know he's doing New York Pro. I really hope he jumps in this show too. Hassan Mustafa.
Ron, I think your fans are going to be pretty excited. There's a lot of folks that I know they're going to jump into the Indy Pro prior to this New York. So a lot of it's under key. It's under the radar. But I've had a few folks reach out to me say that they're going to jump in on it. But that's to be announced hopefully on Saturday once I get the final score sheets from the IPB office.
Yeah, it's fine. You might be old enough to. I don't know if you've been following sport, but in the old days, athletes had to submit requests for every contest they wanted to compete in that year by January 1st of that year.
Oh, wow.
So there were no surprises like this. It wasn't like, I wonder who's doing the Indy Pro. I wonder who's doing the Night of Champions. You knew because they had to sign contracts well ahead of time. And they've obviously eased up on that. And it's kind of more exciting now because you just kind of don't know. And you're watching guys on Instagram and you're like, he looks like he's getting ready. Is he going to do the show next weekend? There's the Indy Pro next weekend. Maybe he's doing that, or maybe he's doing this or that. But I
got to speak for the promoters out there. We'd like to know so we can jazz it up, right? We can get this, even on your side too. If 4 to 6 weeks out, you can get a lot of horsepower behind it, get a lot of fans behind it. That clearly we all want to support the sport. But no, man, it's going to be a fantastic event, both on the 212 and the open side. We've got something special for everybody.
Right on. And just to finish off, 2019, 4th place was Luke Sandow again.
Yep.
So you had Luke at both years. That's he was a phenomenal. He would have been one of the greatest of all time. Eventually, I believe that in my heart.
Absolutely agree.
And Justin Rodriguez again in 5th place. Yeah. I wonder if he'll come back to try to win that.
I'm not nodding.
So I'm looking, we don't have a complete list of people. Not everyone's announced it, but we do know at least one guy who's definitely doing it. And that is Blessing Awodibu, Redcon athlete. And they call him the Boogeyman. He's got millions of followers on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, huge personality, great physique. And this is going to be his pro debut for a guy that turned pro almost 4 years ago.
Wow.
We've been waiting that long for this guy. And he's going to make finally a long way debut right there on stage in Indianapolis. So guys, buckle your seatbelts because, it's the whole first quarter of this year. We didn't have a whole lot going on because we didn't have the Arnold Classic as we usually would. So there wasn't as much to talk about. And the big topic of conversation, many videos were made about this. Many interviews were Blessing versus Nick. Did you follow any of that?
I've seen some of it. I think I've only probably jumped on Blessing's IG a couple times, but it would be just to kind of jazz it up and get it over here to Indy for a week preview prior to that one. So, but no, I've heard a little bit about it, and I think your fan group, everybody in bodybuilding, is so excited just to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, if it'd be so great if Nick jumps into your show too, my goodness. But even if he doesn't, at least we're going to see Blessing. We've never seen him on stage the way he looks now. If you look at the pictures when he turned pro, he's put on like 25 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
Doesn't even look like the same person. And he does post, on his Instagram, gym posing and things like that. But you and I both know it's very, very different seeing a physique on stage, in the trunk, stage lighting, totally different from what you see on Instagram. So we're finally going to be able to really look at this guy's physique, strong points, weak points, and see how he's going to stack up in the pros. Because like I said, this is probably one of the most highly anticipated pro debuts in the last few years, this guy. And it's going to happen on your stage. So pro division's open in 212. I've also been following some of the 212 guys on IG. 3 guys I'm familiar with seem to be targeting your show. Local guy for me, Justin Randall, he actually manages a nutrition store, Cape Cod Nutrition, about 5 miles that way. So, but he's a, packed, shorter guy, just packed with muscle, gets in great condition, from Rhode Island, I think originally. Thomas Lenahan, who I've followed for years. I don't even know if he's competed as a pro yet. This might be his debut. I'm not sure. Need to get an interview with that cat. Got some legs on him. You familiar with Thomas?
Absolutely. I do. Yep, yeah. Absolutely. No, he's got some wheels on him. He's looking good.
Yeah. And the last guy that I've been waiting for this guy to break through to the next level, and it might be at your show, Samir Trudy. I want to say he's from United Arab Emirates or Dubai or.
Yeah, Dubai is what's on the score sheet. So
okay,
I'm not
Dubai
with him. Yeah, I've seen some good photos. I might talk to him back and forth a few times. He seems like a great guy, great shape. Yeah, I'm in for a treat. We're all in for a treat.
If he's in great condition, I don't want to discourage any of the other 212 guys, but he's amazing. Crazy shape, size, structure. It's just the only thing I've ever wanted to see out of Samir is a little more condition, because that guy's got the killer total package.
Yes, sir.
So, and you're also having a big NPC show, Midwest Battle of the Champions. I've talked to some of the NPC athletes, and they like that format because it's not often that they get to share the stage the same day as, these pros that they look up to and aspire to someday compete with. Do you get that reaction from the NPC competitors that you talk to?
Oh yeah, they absolutely love it. I do a great job trying to keep them away from each other because it's business for the IFBB guys. I do a really good job there, but you wouldn't believe it. I mean, after the pros are off the stage, pre-judging and finals, I mean, those guys in gals for the bikini a couple years ago, they hang around. They love the athletes. They love the fans. I mean, it's a true party afterwards. And the NPC guys and gals just can't be any more blessed, especially the city of Indianapolis when these guys come to town. So I mean, it's very professional. They're very professional. Just a great group of guys.
Yeah, the only thing, Indianapolis, I got to be honest with you, the only thing I know about Indianapolis is the Indy 500. Yeah. It's a big car race, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Is that that's NASCAR, right?
No, it's Indy open wheel.
God, see, I don't
so
know.
It's the Indy car. Yeah. I guess that's a lot about Indy.
Boy, and the Indianapolis Colts is a football team. I know that.
And the Colts, yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. So I want to let everyone know, DaveBowersProductions.com has all the information for this.
Sorry about that. Fighting a little cold here.
Aren't we all? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's not talk vaccines. I don't want to get all political on this. But
hey, Ron, I'd like to add that Dorian Haywood, man, he's looking good. He's done our show the past couple of years. I don't want anybody to forget about him coming out. He's a great, not only a great guy, but a great bodybuilder. So I'd keep your eye on Dorian Haywood as well.
I actually saw a couple more names I'm going to add to that because Blessing's stealing all the thunder, obviously not intentionally. He can't help it. He's the boogeyman. He's larger than life. But Dorian Haywood is no joke. I've seen Dorian many times, and I know his trainer, Dave Kalick. I follow him. This is the best I've ever seen Dorian, and he still has, at this point, almost 2 weeks left, a week and a half left to go. Yeah. Another guy with a physique, if he ever really got that crispy condition, he hurt a lot of feelings. Morgan Ass from France, I think he's doing the show.
He's definitely in, yes, sir.
Morgan is, I don't know if you were at the Arnold last year, the 2020 Arnold.
Yep. He
was in the best condition of any man on that stage.
He was in great shape.
At about 300 and some odd pounds. I think he was like 305 or something. If you guys love a ton of freaky muscle and gnarly condition, Morgan Ass from France, it doesn't get bigger and more shred than that. You get like 23, 24 inch arms. He's probably 6'2", but that's a big dude. Big
boy. Yes, sir.
And another guy, Sean Smith, hasn't done a whole lot as a pro yet. He's still in the early stages of his pro career, but man, I've seen him a couple times. So impressed with Sean Smith's potential. He's an animal athlete. I know he was working really hard all last year to bring his lower body into balance with his upper body because he's just massive. He's one of those guys, you see the picture on Instagram and it looks like it's photoshopped or morphed. He's just so thick and full and round. So that's just a small sample of what we have. So I can only imagine, because we're probably going to end up with, I don't know, anywhere from 15 to 25 pros in the open and each in the 212, if I was to estimate. But I'm very happy. Finally, they're sending me, so I get to finally see this show, get some great interviews, because it's, you know, I like to be there, the ambiance and the people and all that. It's not quite the same as watching it on a computer. And we'll be there all weekend shooting it for MD, interviews, stage photos, all that good stuff. We want to give you the best coverage possible for you, the promoter, and of course the fans. Give them the experience, because not everyone can make it to Indianapolis. We want to make it like you feel you are there with everybody watching the show live and in person, because that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Yes, sir. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, because, you know, I tell people, if you can get to shows live, get there. It's not the same. You're never going to have the same experience as being there, seeing these people live in the flesh with the lights and the smells of the tanning oil and all that good stuff, and the music blasting. It's a thrill. It's a totally different experience.
And the thing is, I highly encourage a lot of energy, right? I mean, I need that place to be live. I mean, if it's not, we'll have the MC come out and get it going, man. We absolutely, it's one for the books. It's one for the books, Ron.
Right on. Okay, so definitely looking forward. This is all going down, guys. May 8th. May 8th in Indianapolis. MuscularDevelopment.com. We're going to have a ton of coverage on our website. We're going to be doing live play-by-play. And of course, go to DaveBowersProductions.com.
Yes, sir.
There's going to be information on the live stream and all that, and maybe pay-per-view. It might happen. Who knows? If it doesn't, guys, if it does end up being a pay-per-view, guys, please support the sport. It's very important, you know, especially after last year. Anybody that's putting on contests during the quarantine and COVID, you know, they're not making a killing. Trust me. They're doing it out of pure love and passion for the athletes, for the fans. You know, let's show our support for anyone that has a pay-per-view. Kick in and make it worthwhile. So, Dave, I'm very, very much looking forward to heading out to Indianapolis for this. It's a show I've been watching for a couple of years, and I kind of got jealous that Hector was always out there without me. But finally, I get to be there.
All right, man. We love to have you. We absolutely love to have you.
All right. So, guys, that's it. Please join us on musculardevelopment.com May 8th for the Indy Pro coverage. And, of course, go to DaveBowersProductions.com for all the information on tickets, hotel, anything. There's still time to get yourself there if you're able to see it live and in person, because there's nothing quite like that. Trust me, guys.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate you taking the time, and looking forward to a great production in Indianapolis next weekend.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.